Chapter 17. Olaf was happy to explore the forest. He didn't even know he was last. He marched along thinking his friends were right behind him. Anyone else feel like we're being watched? Anyone? No one? Olaf turned around and saw only the forest. I'm alone. He peered deeper into the woods, trying to comfort that no one was with him. Anna, Sven, Samantha? He laughed. I don't know, Samantha. He continued laughing until a gust of wind blew at his backside. Whoa! He said in surprise. He spun around again, searching for the carpet. Seeing nothing, the snowman simply shrugged. The trees above him crackled, and a pile of leaves crashed on his head. Olaf pushed the leaves off and picked one out of his mouth. That's normal, he said. A rock flew out of the bushes from nowhere, and when Olaf turned to continue on his journey, he tripped over it and landed on his face. A hot gush of water pushed him back up to his feet. This is getting weird, he thought. Tree limbs shimmered above his head, rattling the leaves as something large scampered through them. Olaf turned to look quickly behind him. What was that, he asked. A large hole gaped in the ground before him. He quickly stopped before he fell in. He cautiously looked into what seemed to be a bottomless pit. Samantha, he called, his voice echoing as it faded into nothingness. In response, Olaf backed away nervously. The snowman was confident that although he was no explanation at the moment, it would be one day. He just needed to be a bit older and wiser. Then, when he thought back about everything strange that was happening to him now, he would realize that it had been completely normal. A suddenly caught his attention, and he turned head just in time to see a smoking blaze burn through the moss and race towards him. He did not know what it was, but he knew it couldn't be good. He dove out of the way. Olaf kept moving and soon reached a dark part of the forest, overgrown with vines and twisted branches all around it. He convinced himself, and the fear felt seemed childish in a couple of years. Creepy, unblinking white eyes peered out of the bushes everywhere he looked. Try not to think of using his manners. Excuse me, he said, backing out of the small grove of trees. Olaf scurried away and found himself in a small clearing by a brook. He knew it made it somewhere safe. He had been willing to face his fears. And look what had happened. Olaf believed that by looking down at his reflection in the water, he would feel even better. What he saw was in the distorted, rippling vision of himself. But Olaf remained secure, even with the creepy face and eyes staring back at him. Nothing could shake his courage until that image was replaced by a scary horse's face. Ah! Olaf screamed in the terror. The nearby bush burst into flames. Olaf continued screaming until he ran out of breath, not even noticing that the fire in the bush went out the moment he stopped screaming. Everything went back to normal, and he reminded himself that in a few years he would find explanations for all these strange things. Olaf wasn't even worried when he saw trees deeper in the forest bending to the ground as if they were pushed by a heavy wind. This is fine, he said confidently, but it wasn't. The heavy wind found him and swept him into a roaring storm, one piece at a time.